Hello, Mitchell Terena, artists and scientists. Welcome back to another episode of Art and Science with Carrie. Today we're going to be doing a science project. Today we're going to be making a rain gauge to be able to measure how much rain is falling. Hopefully we're headed into the rainy part of the year. You never know with all the changes that are happening in the climate, but I've been thinking about the rainy season and hoping the rain is coming. For today's project, you're going to need some empty containers. So this is an old yogurt container, a kefir container, or you can use, I have here a an old olive oil container. This is a juice container. So just find a container. Actually, clear is probably the best, but it doesn't really matter if it's okay if it has a color on it. So you're going to need a container. You're going to need something to be able to cut the container with, so scissors or a knife, and a parent. You're going to need your parent to help you with that part of the project. You'll also need a little bit of water, a little bit of dirt, which I have here in this container. You're going to need tape, and you're going to need a ruler. So go get all of those materials, and we'll start when you get back. Okay, so now you have all of your materials, and we're going to make a rain gauge. And rain gauges are something that scientists use to determine rainfall patterns. So the idea with this is that you're going to, each time there's a rainstorm, you're going to go out and you're going to look at your rain gauge and see how much fell in that rainstorm. Different ecosystems have different amounts of rain that fall in them. In a rainforest, there's a lot more rain than in a desert or an arid ecosystem. So it's interesting to think about the role that rain plays as such a critical role in the natural environment. So I thought it'd be fun to think about rainfall here in Southern California. So the way you get started with this is you have your parent help you cut the top spout off of your container like this, right? So I used a knife to do mine, but you want to have your parents do it for you because it is not, it's a more difficult task. So if you could get one of your parents to cut that off for you, that'd be great. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to go outside, or if you have some sand on hand, maybe you have a sandbox. You're going to want to, if the bottom of your container is not completely flat, which most aren't, you're going to want to fill up the bottom of your container so that it creates a completely flat surface in the bottom of the container, right? And then you're actually going to take some water and you're going to fill your container until the water comes just to the top of the dirt or the sand so that you have a completely flat bottomed vessel for the water to fall into, right? So I think this is probably enough. I'm just going to let it soak in there and make sure that the water is all soaked in and that we have a totally flat bottom. I might have to take out, maybe I put a little bit too much water in there. But basically you're just trying to create a totally flat bottom in the bottom of your rain gauge. Okay. The next thing that you're going to do is you are going to take your ruler and you are going to tape it onto the edge of your rain gauge, and you want to do it so that 0 is level with the dirt level at the bottom, right? So that when you're measuring how much rain has fallen, you start at 0. So I've got my ruler here and I've got some tape. You probably want to use like packing tape or duct tape. We need kind of stronger tape than we usually use for art projects because it has to hold up in the rain. So now we've got our ruler on here, and I've already taped the spout upside down into this. The idea is that the spout catches, you know, we've created this big surface space, and then the water goes down into this hole, and that way the water doesn't bounce out, right? We've got this like gradual shape so that all the water funnels down in and it doesn't bounce out of your rain gauge. So I'll show you how you can do that. So you take you've cut your spout off. Right now you're just going to turn it upside down, and you're going to use your tape. This is just an example, so you see how I'm doing it. I'm going to go all the way around the edge, taping this spout. Upside down into my vessel. So that it stays in place. And there you've got your, that's how I did it with this one here. But this one is the completed rain gauge. We've got the flat level bottom. We've got the ruler taped on so that it starts at the top of the flat surface that you created in the bottom with the sand. And we've got the top inverted and taped so that the water will fall and it will funnel down in. And the next time there's a rainstorm, so I recommend putting this outside next time you know that there's a rainstorm coming. And after it rains, go out and measure how much it's rained. And then you could probably go online and see if it matches the rain that's being tracked in your local area. And this is a great way to get experience collecting data. This is data that you could use to study how much rain happens in the season here in Southern California. Hope you guys have a fun time with your rain gauges and measuring the rain and thinking about the rain, hoping for rain. Take care, you guys. Have fun. Bye.